Hi everyone, it's Wednesday the 24th of November. We got the challenge set in the dead of night, and this week we have non-hero survivors start charged, so get your non-hero assaults ready because they're going to be really useful in this challenge, as well as for narrow path having a non-hero shooter will probably help quite a bit. So we'll start with the Pyre, and in previous challenges there's been a couple of tactics to use, which you can use beta and 2 bruisers, hoping to stun what you need whilst herding what you can't stun. You've got 3 scouts, not the best start on this screen for that, but if one starts close you can prowl it and kill it, and then wait at the start down by the bottom right, and everyone can run up to the finish line on the next move. Obviously you've got Smile Spy now, which will work pretty well, but what I think will work really well is using Rosita in lead and 2 non-hero charged assaults. You'll be able to move up, stun everything, and then move forwards. Do the same with the other non-hero assault, and run Rosita as far along as you can, and the next turn you should be able to reach the exit. I think that's going to work pretty much all the way up until Nightmare, and most of the way through Nightmare as well. So hopefully my idea will work and is correct, but I'll do some videos just to show it in action. Next map we've got is Midnight Snack, probably one of the harder maps on this set. Earlier on you can use threat reduction, so Daryl, Scouts, Beta, to keep the threat down and prowl everything. Then you need to open the 3 boxes. Once you open the 3rd box, firewalkers will spawn from the top right. The exit is just to your right off the screen. If you open the top right box last, you then be able to run whoever opened it down to the bottom right next turn. Or I think actually you might be able to, if you've got a scout opening it, you'll be able to run all the way to the line on the next turn. So always make sure you open that top right box last, and be ready to get to the line with your other 2 people as well. If you've got a bruiser or someone opening it, then next turn run down to the bottom right as far as you can, and next turn you'll be able to make it to the exit. Narrow Path is the easiest map on the set, if long as you are patient. At the start you want to stay on the start line. You can move off for the first turn, but you need to be back on for the start of the second turn. Kill the 2 walkers that are in the room with you, and then wait 6 or 7 turns, I think it is, quite a few, because if you move off the line, stuff starts spawning behind you, but you can spawn block for those 6-7 turns and nothing will come in. Move up to the top and set everything on the right hand side and left hand side on fire, and everything in the bottom right room on fire as well. Then you want to open the gate by pressing the button in this room. Move 2 survivors to the bottom right as far as you can of the next room, and then with a scout or shooter open the button in the second room, and then next turn you'll be able to run to the line. Run your 2 survivors down to the bottom left corner or onto the line, and then next turn you'll be able to run your shooter down onto the line as well. Sometimes something will spawn on the line, so if you've got your assaults, if you've got someone charged, or both the people who are on the line charged, then you should be able to kill it, hopefully. That's when it gets a bit trickier at higher levels, but it doesn't spawn on the line every time, so if it does, then you might have to do it again. Takes a while, you have to be patient. Get as much fire on, as many of them on fire as quickly as possible, and you'll you'll be fine. I'll show you that technique, but you'll see it all over the place because it makes the map a walk in the park. Nightly Visitors is next, which was pretty much one of the hardest maps in the game. You've got 2 tanks which you have to kill. You've got an incoming, and you've got a long way to run as well. Couple of ways of doing it. Staying silent. I used this team quite far last time, using Sasha to root the tank and get charged back up on the normal walkers, moving around quite a bit. The incomings come in where Rick and Eugene stood, down the bottom right by the crates, bottom right 2 squares, and the 3 spaces up by where this 48 is at the top, and the bottom 2 spaces of the finish line and 1 below the finish line. They can all be spawn blocked, so if you're moving off the line and there's an incoming coming soon, try and move down to that bottom right corner to spawn block. This is a blind corner around here towards the finish line, which is on the right, so do be careful of anything coming around there that you can't see. Spy should make this pretty easy, especially if you can use silent weapons to keep the threat down as well. Shouldn't take too long. If you can't use Spy or Spy, then an assault and someone with fire to set the tanks on fire and build yourself a stun wall. If you do it that way, it does get very difficult to clear the path and get to the right. I'll show you a few different teams. I also think Mercer, Bruiser, Huntsman, Darrell work well on this as well, keeping the threat down and prowling the tank. So I'll do that as well. So there's the finish line, and these are blind corner around here until you get up to this sort of point. Next one is Deer in the Headlights, probably my favourite map on the set. Use this team pretty much throughout the whole thing. Towards the end, you're not killing stuff, you're herding it. So I always go up the top first and work my way along the top, down the side, and then back. Get auto spawns after 2 turns. They start spawning in the top right, and then they start spawning in the top left, and then they start spawning from the middle. And you've also got an incoming, so you need to be quick. But yeah, running up, having Pizza Glen to be able to open. I've got best tactical golden scissors on him, so you can hit, open, hit again. It's I think it's quite a good tactical map, so I'll show you that. But I'll probably be using a similar team most of the time. And lastly, emergency evacuation. Killer walkers. You got 2 fire walkers starting to your right hand side, so as long as you can control that, it's pretty much straightforward. Spy is going to make it really easy. If you don't have them, you can use a little trick on here, because this bush, 1 space to the top left of the top fire walker here, is a hard corner. So if you can line all 3 people up from that spot down, anything that's above your top survivor will wander upwards and out the way. So if you can get everything's attention, get it on fire, and stand in that position, they will wander off. And the main thing is to make sure that you've got their attention. Sometimes they will wander down to the space 1 to the down and right of this 49 in front of Alpha. If they do, then they will may walk towards you, but they won't attack. But that can mess it up a little bit, but it shouldn't be a problem, and I'll show that technique as well as Spy, Smy, etc. Anyway, not too bad a map set. Be interesting to see how much easier Nightly Visitors is now. Looking forward to trying Pyre with Rosita in lead. That should be fun. But I hope you found this useful. If you've got any questions, leave them in the comments, and I'll see you later. Thanks for watching.